Sometimes the buyer is hunting more than your furniture. I should have known something was wrong when he agreed to my asking price without negotiating. People always haggle on Craigslist. It's practically mandatory. But this guy just said, "Perfect, I'll take it," and suggested we meet at the Walmart parking lot. The office chair wasn't worth much, maybe $50, but I needed it gone. My home office had become my bedroom during the pandemic, and the chair took up too much space. His voice on the phone was calm, professional. He asked standard questions. Was it in good condition? Did it roll smoothly? Any stains or tears? Normal buyer stuff. I relaxed. Friday afternoon, I loaded the chair into my SUV and drove to our meeting spot. He'd said he drove a gray Honda Civic, which described half the cars in the parking lot. I called his number. No answer. Texted. Nothing. An hour passed. The sun was setting, painting the Walmart sign orange. And I was getting pissed. I'd wasted my entire afternoon on some flake who couldn't be bothered to show up or cancel. I loaded the chair back into my car and started the drive home, muttering about inconsiderate people and promising myself I'd never use Craigslist again. That's when I noticed the car behind me. Red sedan, maybe 15 years old, staying exactly 3 car lengths back. When I changed lanes, it changed lanes. When I slowed down, it slowed down. My chest tightened. I told myself I was being paranoid. Lots of people took the same route through our small city. But when I turned onto my residential street, the sedan turned too. I pulled into my driveway and hit the garage door remote, my hands shaking slightly. Through my rearview mirror, I watched the sedan park directly across from my house. The engine stayed running. I grabbed the chair and rushed inside, slamming the garage door behind me. From my kitchen window, I could see the silhouette of someone sitting in the driver's seat, perfectly still, watching my house. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Sorry, I missed you at Walmart. Can I come look at the chair now?" My blood turned to slush. I'd never given him my address. I called 911 with trembling fingers, explaining about the missed meeting and the car outside. The dispatcher said an officer was en route, but it would be 10 minutes. "Keep your doors locked and stay away from windows," she advised. I peeked through the blinds. The car was still there, but now the driver's door was open. A tall figure in dark clothing stood beside the vehicle, looking directly at my house. Not just looking, studying, like he was memorizing every detail. He started walking toward my front door. I yanked the blinds shut and pressed myself against the wall, heart hammering. Footsteps on my porch, then silence. Minutes crawled by. No doorbell, no knocking. Just the oppressive weight of knowing someone was out there. Then I heard something that made my skin crawl. Footsteps circling the house. Slow, methodical, like a predator mapping its territory. When the police finally arrived, they found the sedan abandoned in my driveway. Driver's door still open. The car was completely sterile. No registration, no personal items, not even fingerprints on the steering wheel. It had been purchased from a junkyard 3 states away with cash. The Craigslist account was created with a fake email address that bounced through several proxy servers. But here's what really terrifies me. The officer found something the forensics team had missed. A small notebook wedged under the passenger seat. Inside were detailed notes about my daily routine, what time I left for work, which lights I turned on at night, the make and model of my car, even sketches of my house from different angles. He'd been watching me for weeks before making contact about the chair. The chair wasn't the product he was buying. I was. 6 months later, I still check my rearview mirror obsessively. I've moved twice, changed my phone number, deleted all my social media accounts, but I can't shake the feeling that somewhere out there, someone has a notebook with my new address, and he's still taking notes. Some predators study their prey like scientists. The first break-in felt almost polite. I was visiting my brother for the weekend, staying at a vacation rental close to his apartment, the kind of generic, corporate-managed property that exists in every tourist town. Clean, anonymous, forgettable. I woke at 3 a.m. to the sound of the front door closing. Not slamming, not forced, just the gentle click of someone who knew what they were doing. By the time I crept out to investigate, whoever it was had vanished, leaving only an unlocked door, and the suffocating certainty that I was no longer safe. The police took a report but offered little hope. No signs of forced entry, Nothing stolen, no fingerprints. Probably just a drunk who wandered into the wrong house, the officer suggested. I wanted to believe him. The property manager changed the door code immediately, which made me feel better. I spent the next day with my brother, trying to forget the violation of waking up to an intruder in my temporary home. That evening, I returned to find everything exactly as I'd left it. New code working perfectly, all windows secured, interior exactly as it should be. I began to relax. Big mistake. I was checking the bedrooms one final time before settling in for the night when I heard footsteps running down the hallway behind me. Heavy, urgent footsteps that belonged to someone much larger than me. I spun around just as a massive figure barreled past my doorway, disappearing into the living room. For a split second, I caught a glimpse. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with the confidence of someone who knew the layout intimately. Then came the sounds of systematic destruction. Cabinets slamming open, furniture being shoved aside, drawers pulled out and contents scattered. But not random vandalism. This was a methodical search. Someone looking for something specific. I pressed myself against the bedroom wall, phone in hand, listening to my temporary home being torn apart by a stranger who seemed to know exactly what he was doing. The search continued for maybe 5 minutes before I heard the front door open and close again. When the police arrived, they found a living room that looked like it had been hit by a tornado. Every drawer opened, every cushion overturned, every possible hiding place exposed. But according to the property manager, nothing was missing. It's like they were looking for something that wasn't there, the investigating officer noted. But here's what really terrified me. I had checked every room just minutes before the break-in. I had looked in closets, under beds, behind doors. The house was empty. So where had he been hiding? The forensics team found evidence that answered my question and made everything so much worse. Hidden cameras, professional grade, wireless, positioned to monitor every room of the rental. Someone had been watching the property remotely, learning the routines of every guest. They'd been studying me since I checked in. The cameras had been there for months, maybe longer. Every guest who'd stayed at that property had been unknowingly surveilled, their schedules learned, their vulnerabilities mapped, their belongings cataloged. But I was different. I was the first guest to come back early and interrupt the search. The question that keeps me awake at night: what were they looking for? What did they think previous guests had hidden in that anonymous rental property? And more disturbing, how many other vacation rentals have invisible watchers behind the walls, learning our patterns, waiting for the right moment to take what they're really after? I'll never know, because the property was quietly removed from all rental platforms the next week. The management company claimed maintenance issues, but I suspect they found something much worse than broken cameras. They found out what the searcher was really looking for, and they didn't want anyone else to find it.